Hey everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. Today's video is the start of a new series that I'm going to be doing, and it's all about anti-aging skincare active ingredients. I'm talking about creams, lotions, and potions, things that you can purchase and put on your skin at home to help fight the visible signs of aging. The point of this series is to help you choose what you want to use on your skin as you get older. I'm 55 now. When I started my YouTube channel was when I turned 50, and at that point I kind of woke up one morning, looked in the mirror and was like, oh my gosh, I really haven't done myself a service by roasting my skin in the sun for the last, for say 50 years. And that's when I decided to get serious about my skincare. I really hadn't used much in the way of skincare before that. And when I started trying to figure out what I wanted to use, it was so overwhelming. Like the level of choice out there, it's just crazy how many products there are, how many ingredients there are, how they all tell you that they are going to be a facelift in a bottle or Botox in a bottle, and what really is the truth? What can you use that is really going to make a difference in your skin? So that's kind of what this series is going to try to delve into. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a chemist, I am a user of skincare like you, but I wanted to educate myself, and so I feel like I did a fairly good job of it, and I've seen the results in my skin. So I can say that my skin has definitely improved by using all the topicals that I use, but I use a big mix of things, and I think that there is value to using lots of different topicals. So for today's video, the first video, we're going to be taking a look at the retinoids. The retinoids as a group have the most research behind them and are considered by the real experts, the dermatologists and the chemists, to be the gold standard of anti-aging. So the retinoids are a group of vitamin A derivatives, and there are lots of different ones. They have been proven by years and years of study to improve the look of sun-damaged skin. So they reduce the look of wrinkles, sagging, age spots, and they increase skin's firmness. Do they all work the same? No. That's why one group is prescription and another group is over-the-counter. So there are ones called tretinoin, tazarotene, and adapalene. Those are the prescription versions. They are regulated as a drug here in the US by the FDA. And then over here we have the over-the-counter versions. These are retinaldehyde, retinol, and retinol palmitate. There are others, but I'm just listing the main three here. So over-the-counter means that it's not regulated as a drug by the FDA. So you can walk into any drugstore and pick up a product off the shelf. You don't need a prescription from your doctor. So those are the actual ingredients that are listed in the ingredient label, but of course there are brand names that use those ingredients. So some of the brand names for tretinoin are Retin-A and Renova. Tazarotene is marketed as Tazorac, and adapalene is Indifferent. Now, on the non-prescription side, these could be in just about any product from any brand. So the main brands that sell over-the-counter retinol products are Paula's Choice, Neutrogena, Rock, and The Ordinary, to name a few. But there are hundreds and hundreds of brands that sell retinol products. So of all these 6 ingredient names that I've listed here, tretinoin really is the one that is considered the true gold standard of anti-aging. It's the one with the most research behind it. It's the one that has been proven effective through years and years of study. So over those years of study, what they've discovered about tretinoin is that it actually hits specific retinoid receptors within the skin to increase collagen production within the skin. Our body naturally just produces less collagen every year as we get older, starting in about our late 20s or early 30s. So anything that can keep those factories open a little bit longer, producing more collagen, is great. And the thing with tretinoin is that it is directly active, absorbable, and usable by your skin. So another great thing about aging is that as you get older, your skin cells, the dead cells on the surface, don't turn over and slough off as quickly as they used to. And so tretinoin helps to speed up that process as well. So it helps to thin out the upper layers of your skin, which is all dead cells anyway. It's called the stratum corneum. It's a protective layer, but it can also make your skin look a little dull, make it look a little more wrinkled. And so by thinning that out, it helps your skin to have that lit from within glow. It helps it to look a little bit more smooth on the surface. But while it's thinning that outer dead layer of skin, it also thickens the deeper layers of the skin through that collagen synthesis. So it's kind of giving your skin the double whammy of what it needs to look a little bit younger. So that's why it helps with like plumpness, a little bit of firmness, and I've definitely seen it in my own skin over the 5 years that I've been using it. In addition to helping skin generate new collagen, it also protects the collagen you have against continued UV exposure. So while tretinoin has been studied the most and is very effective for anti-aging, it also does come along with some side effects. It can be irritating, it can be some peeling with it, your skin can become red and painful and extra dry, and it can look generally 10 years older instead of 10 years younger. What they've actually found in a study is that the peeling, the redness, the burning, the irritation, that isn't what makes tretinoin work. Tretinoin works because it hits those specific retinoid receptors within the skin. So you don't need the peeling, you don't need the burning, you don't need the irritation and the dryness for this to work in your skin. So in my book, then that is all to be avoided. And the way to avoid it is to ease in really slowly with it and work your way up over time. Because it does take time for this to work. Over the first year, I'd say it took me like 9 months before I really started seeing any difference in my skin. And it was really not until like a year and a half in that I was really seeing good changes that made me be like, yes, this is good, I want to stick with it. I've only been using it for 5 years, and I wish I had started so much earlier. I wish I had known about it much younger. And the people that I've seen that have the best results with it are people who have been using it for like 20 years. People who also stayed out of the sun or used sun protection. Of course, being, a sun worshiper, I did neither. So I'm paying for that now, but at least there's something I can do to kind of mitigate some of it. And for me, that works. So it is kind of a lifestyle change if you're going to choose to use a retinoid. You've got to commit to using the retinoid for long enough to see any results. You have to commit to like easing in with it if that's what your skin needs. And you really need to commit to sunscreen, because that is really the thing that is going to keep you from getting any more sun damage. Because, why would you do all this work to get rid of the sun damage on your skin and then keep inviting more sun damage in? All right, so let's just talk a little bit about products. Currently, I'm using the generic tretinoin. This is the 0.1% cream. There are gel forms, there are cream forms, there are more emollient cream forms for people with dry skin. So my advice is always to talk to a professional about where you should start. They can gauge your skin type and tell you which form you need to use, and then they will prescribe it for you. I get mine at the drugstore. Sometimes my insurance covers it, sometimes it doesn't. This is getting very expensive if your insurance won't cover it, but sometimes my insurance does cover it, and then it's a $10 copay. I'm like, okay. There is a service called goodrx.com, and you can download a coupon if your insurance won't cover it, and that will defray the cost. In some other countries, this is not a prescription product. It's just over the counter. So in my travels around the planet, I picked up some Retin-A in Spain one time. So it's the same active ingredient. You can also get this over the counter in Mexico. So if you're just traveling through the airport, stop at the airport pharmacy and pick up a couple of tubes if you want, and it's like $12 there. You can buy this online. There are Canadian pharmacies, but you have to have a prescription to go through them, and if you do, you can get it filled and shipped to the States. There is a new service that I just started trying this month called Curology. This is $19.99 or $95 a month, so $20 a month basically, and you're on auto refill. But basically what you do is you snap a couple of pics of your face, you upload them to their site, and they have doctors and dermatologists there who will be your personal consultant. And then they'll suggest a formula for you based on what your skin concerns are. So my custom mix contains 0.09% tretinoin. It contains 1% clindamycin, which is another prescription acne medication, and it contains 5% azelaic acid, which is for lightening up red and coloration in your skin. So I was really psyched about that, and actually I've been using this for a month already, and can I tell you, my skin has never been clearer. Like, I've always been prone to breakouts, and I really couldn't stand it being, wrinkles and pimples. But this has been really great, and I had a great chat with my provider, and they're there to answer your questions. So if you start using it and you're having a problem with your skin, you just email them or text them, and they answer your questions. So it's kind of like having an online dermatologist dermatologist right there. So if you're interested in checking out Curology, there is a link in the information box below the video. They are offering the first month for free. I think you just pay shipping. Let me know if you want to see a full video just on Curology. I can definitely do that, but for some people it could be a really good option. Okay, so I believe that we've pretty much covered everything there is to cover about tretinoin. The other prescription retinoids, tazarotene and adapalene, I don't know that much about them, but tazarotene is considered to be a little bit more effective, I think, than tretinoin, at least from the study that I read, but it's also the most irritating of the prescription retinoids. Adapalene is considered to be the best tolerated of the prescription retinoids, but it may be less effective on sun damage than some of the other options. Its brand name is Differin, but adapalene just was released last year as an over-the-counter medication as well. So when you get the prescription form, it comes in strengths of like 0.3%, 0.2%. The over-the-counter one is a lower percentage, it's 0.1%. So here is the Differin gel. This is available in the acne aisle at most drugstores. The studies that have been done are promising, and so if you just, can't get the prescription and you want to use the strongest thing that you can get from the drugstore, then Differin is your guy. But again, be careful. Just because it's considered to be better tolerated than, tretinoin or something else, it doesn't mean that you can instantly go into it 5 days a week and not have any problems. I can't use my tretinoin on my neck. It's just too sensitive. It gets too irritated. So I went out and I got this and I started putting it on 5 days a week, and shocker, it was so irritating. My neck was red, it looked awful. So, even with something like this, even with an over-the-counter retinol, just please be careful. Just, dip your toe in first to start. So that was my experience with that. I would like to try to work up to this on my neck still, but currently I'm using more just the retinol products for my neck. So let's go into the over-the-counter retinoids now. The main difference between the prescription products and the over-the-counter products is that the over-the-counter products are not in the form that is immediately available to your skin. The over-the-counter retinoids need to be converted by your skin before they can be used, so they're not in their active form like the prescription products are. And so these conversion processes can be a one-step process or a two-step process depending on which active ingredient you're getting. So you kind of have to be able to read an ingredient label to figure out what you're getting, because unfortunately, where this is not a regulated area of the industry, it can say retinol on the label, but it can be a different type of retinol, not exactly retinol inside. So retinol has become kind of a blanket term in over-the-counter world for all the over-the-counter retinols, when really they're quite different. So probably the most effective of the over-the-counter retinoids, aside from Differin, is the retinaldehyde. And that's because that one only needs to do a one-step conversion inside your skin for it to be used. So it is considered to be more effective than retinol, and also less irritating than tretinoin. So it could be a good choice if your skin can just never acclimate to a prescription product. So the product that I've used that has retinaldehyde in it is the Aven Retrinol 0.1 Intensive Cream. I like things that tell you how much of it is in there, because you can read all the clinical trials you want and they can show that they got results using a certain percentage of an ingredient. But if that same percentage of the ingredient isn't in the product that you're using, then you're not going to see the same results, right? So the studies on retinaldehyde were done using between 0.05% and 0.1%. So this has 0.1%, so it's in there in the right concentration. I did use this on my neck for a few months, and I didn't have irritation from it. I liked it very much. My neck looked pretty good. Retinaldehyde is really not commonly found in your over-the-counter retinoid products. Most of them use retinol, and retinol needs to be converted in a two-step process in your skin in order to be used and in order to see results. But retinol seems to have the most study of the over-the-counter preparations, and it has been proven to work over time. The general consensus is that it's 10 to 20 times weaker than a prescription retinoid is, but it is a good gateway thing so that you can acclimate your skin to using a retinoid. They're much less irritating than, say, a prescription retinoid, and so you could use it for 3 or 6 months first to kind of get acclimated and then bump up to something stronger. Some of the ones that I have used in the past used and really liked are the Dr. Brandt 2% Retinol Complex Serum. This one has 2% retinol in there. I have completely used this guy up over the last 2 months. I really like this one. I've used it on my neck. I've had no irritation, so that one was awesome. There's the Paula's Choice Clinical 1% Retinol Treatment. Paula's Choice makes a lot of good retinol products. It tells you how much of it is in there, and they're well formulated. They're fragrance free, and this one is not irritating on my skin. I really like that. Then another one I tried is the CeraVe Skin Renewing Cream Serum. I had used this one for a long time on my neck. I saw really good results with it. Another brand that's really good with their over-the-counter retinol is the Neutrogena brand. This is the Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair Serum. So that's a good one to use. I have used this one. I did get a little bit of irritation on my neck from this one, so I don't tend to use this one so much. Another Neutrogena product that I did a whole video on is their Rapid Wrinkle Repair Regenerating Cream, and this one is fragrance free. They did come out with a fragrance free one, which is great. Unfortunately, with the drugstore, they don't tell you how much is in there, so you don't really know. Then of course, at a lower price point, there are the Ordinary products. I've got 2 of their retinoid products. These 2 that I have here are not retinol. They do have standard retinol products, but these are retinol esters. So the retinol esters, in general, they are supposed to be less effective than retinol because they have to go through even more of a conversion process, but some of the newer ones they're saying are actually supposed to be more effective than retinol. So on the esters, I don't tend to use the esters, so if something says that it's a retinol and it says retinol palmitate or retinol propionate or retinol lineolate on the label, I tend to stay away from that and just go for straight old retinol. But The Ordinary has come out with some new generation retinols, retinoids, that are esters, and they're supposed to be more effective than retinol with less irritation. You know, I haven't seen the studies on these. I don't know. I know there's very little study on them, but anyway, that's what they claim. They certainly are cheap enough to try. I have tried 2. I have the Advanced Retinoid 2% and I have the Gran Active Retinoid 2% in squalane. I kind of like this squalane one. I've used a bit of it. I probably used it for 3 weeks just to see if I would get any irritation from it, and I didn't. This is in an oil base. This one did give me some irritation, so I stopped using that. I got a little redness and a little, funkiness over there. So as you can see, the world of retinoids is very complex. It's very confusing, but I think the main takeaway is that through the research and the study, I think it's been shown that it is worth using some kind of a retinoid, and to use it over time is probably the best thing that you can do for your aging skin besides protecting it from the sun. It's definitely something that I want to continue using, both a over-the-counter retinoid and a prescription retinoid. So if you found the video helpful and informative, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. As always, I thank you for watching and really appreciate your time. So take care and have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.